and many crowds, in fact, coming out to see Lazarus. Clearly, people who knew him had seen him dead. They saw Jesus weep for him and raise him from the dead. This was to give a sample of what's to come. So if God can raise a dead, decaying body that Lazarus no doubt had from the dead, and no doubt the thing is with this, you have to remember this is what cost Jesus his life. Because once the Pharisees saw Lazarus walking amongst the people, clearly alive, and crowds were flocking not only to see Jesus, they were flocking to see this man Lazarus, who is now alive, walking amongst the people, who many would have testified and known that he indeed was dead. One of the Jesus' friends said, "Lord, he stinketh, you can't, how you go, but if you say you can do it, then you can do it." And so he raised him from the dead. Well, the Pharisees took a different view of this, and they even wanted to now kill Lazarus. They then realized, look, the whole world is going after this man, Jesus. If we let him thus alone, they would take away our kingdom and our nation. Because look, he's preaching to both Jew and Gentile. He's preaching to our enemies, and many of our enemies are turning to Jesus. If we leave Jesus alone, then they'll take away our kingdom. In other words, they'll take away their power. This Jesus has got to go. This Jesus has got to go, and also this Lazarus has got to go. They sought to not only kill Jesus, but also to kill Lazarus. Well, Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead wasn't an easy thing, of course, because this actually put the lid, and this put the cat out of the bag, so to speak, because he indeed could raise people from the dead. So this corruptible body, this mortal, will one day put on immortality. And the dead in Christ, those that are already dead and rotting and decayed in the grave, or even skeletons by now in the grave, the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. But you're thinking, well, how am I suddenly going to get there? I'm on earth, I'm suddenly changed in a moment, the twinkling of an eye. What am I going to do? Shoot up like a rocket into the sky? Or what? I'm going to be scared of heights. I'll be aware that I'm not in a vehicle. I won't know. Would I flap my hands and think I'm going to fly? Well, it says when Jesus comes, he shall send forth his angels with the sound of a great trumpet, right? This is like saying this is the time. This is it. This is the resurrection. And so Jesus sends forth his angels to gather together his elect from the four winds and from the four quarters of the earth. We think, wow, that's quite a lot of angels. Well, when you look at different visions in the Bible of different angels that have appeared, were there any time when millions, if not billions, of angels appeared? Well, John saw 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands, in other words, millions and millions, an innumerable amount of angels, and you're going into the millions, if not the billions. 10,000 times 10,000 would be thousands of millions. 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of angels around the throne of God. He saw this in a vision when he went into the book of Revelation. It's not all bad in the book of Revelation. Well, sending forth his angels with the sound of a trumpet to the four winds and the four quarters of the earth to gather together his elect would be 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of angels